With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu. At Arizona State University, we're bringing world-class education from our globally acclaimed faculty to you. Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Learn more at asuonline.asu.edu.
Calaroga Shark Media.
From Washington, D.C., we're seriously released the Epstein files already. This is Ballot.
That's right, and I'm about to release my own list, so let's hit this. Hi, I'm Patrick Gutfield, and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche announced he wants to meet with Ghislaine Maxwell, Jeffrey Epstein's longtime associate, who's currently serving 20 years in federal prison for sex trafficking. Blanche says he's acting on Trump's instructions to release all credible evidence about the case. Now, this is interesting timing. The announcement came just hours before a House committee voted to subpoena Maxwell, and just days after the Wall Street Journal reported that Trump sent Epstein a birthday greeting in 2003 expressing their close friendship. So we're moving from I barely knew the guy to let's interview his business partner. That's quite a pivot. Blanche misspelled Maxwell's first name in his announcement, which is either sloppy work or he's so unfamiliar with the case he doesn't know how to spell the defendant's name. Either way, not great. Or maybe he's a genius who wants us to think he's going to interview that Maxwell, but actually just going to meet with someone with a similar name. Like wanting to interview Michael B. Jordan, but then the guy from the Chicago Bulls shows up. Pretty crafty move there by Todd Blanche. Maybe I will start releasing the Epstein files, Epstein spelled with 2 E's. The first name in those Epstein files with 2 E's is a guy named Donald Trump who spells his last name with 2 M's and is clearly a parody. Cowardly Speaker Mike Johnson just sent the House home early to avoid voting on releasing Jeffrey Epstein files. He cut the legislative week short and scheduled recess for Wednesday afternoon, which is the political equivalent of faking a headache to get out of a dinner party. Johnson said, "We're done being lectured on transparency at a news conference where he looked about as comfortable as a vegetarian at a barbecue contest." He complained about endless efforts to politicize the Epstein investigation while simultaneously politicizing the Epstein investigation by refusing to hold a vote on it. Here's what happened. Democrats on the House Rules Committee kept demanding votes on releasing Epstein files. Republicans didn't want to go on record because they're afraid of their own voters who actually want these files released. So instead of facing their constituents, they're just going home. That's leadership. The House was supposed to vote on immigration measures, permitting bills, and rolling back Biden regulations. But they can't do any of that because the Rules Committee is paralyzed by the Epstein issue. So rather than deal with it, they're taking a 5-week vacation. Must be nice. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene said, "Crimes have been committed. If there's no justice and no accountability, people are going to get sick of it." Which is probably the most reasonable thing she's said in years. And that should tell you something about the situation. Representative Ralph Norman from South Carolina criticized his own leaders for stalling and said, "The American people deserve action, not excuses." Meanwhile, Representative Thomas Massey from Kentucky plans to force a vote in September using something called a discharge petition. Johnson's response, "I don't know how his mind works. I don't know what he's thinking. Bless his heart." That's Southern for "this guy's an idiot." But when you're avoiding a vote your own base wants, maybe the idiot is the guy running away from his own members. So to recap, Republicans control the House, but they can't pass their own agenda because they're afraid to vote on something their voters actually support. That's not governing, that's just advanced procrastination.
What if everything you've been taught about happiness is wrong? We chase careers, approval, more stuff, hoping it'll finally make us feel fulfilled, but it never sticks. What if happiness isn't out there, but already inside you, just waiting to be unlocked? Discover the book, The Happiness Experiment. Every person has a unique happiness type, and when you understand yours, everything shifts. You'll stop chasing and start creating joy on your own terms. Discover your happiness type with a free happiness type assessment. Go to myhappinesstype.com. That's myhappinesstype.com. It takes just a minute and it might change your life. Then grab your copy of The Happiness Experiment at Books A Million. This isn't just a book, it's a practical framework, a journey inward. It's a tool to help you reconnect with the happiness that's been waiting inside you all along. Pick up The Happiness Experiment and start your happiness experiment today.
With so many options, why choose Arizona State University?
For me, the only online option was ASU because of the quality. Their faculty was really involved with their students and care about your personal journey. The dedication to my personal development from my professors, that's been extremely valuable to me.
Earn your degree from the nation's most innovative university. Online. That's a degree better. Explore more than 350 plus undergraduate, graduate, and certificate programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
President Trump met with Philippines President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and called his family highly respected. Now, Trump says he knew the Marcos family back in the 80s, which explains a lot about Trump's judgment in the 80s. Here's what Trump didn't mention. Marcos Jr.'s father was literally chased out of office by his own people in a revolution. The elder Marcos was a dictator who was so unpopular that even the Reagan administration, and this is Ronald Reagan we're talking about, told him it was time to pack it up and go home. When Reagan thinks you're too authoritarian, you've really crossed a line. But Trump called them highly respected. That's like calling the Titanic unsinkable after watching the movie. We all know how this story ends. The younger Marcos has become a close American ally, mainly because China keeps trying to claim Philippines territory. So now we're in this awkward position where we need the son of a dictator to help us deal with another authoritarian regime. International relations is just one big dysfunctional family reunion where everyone's pretending the weird uncle isn't weird. During their meeting, while Trump was busy attacking his political opponents, Marcos kept steering the conversation back to their military relationship and America's help with the Philippines' self-reliance defense program. Translation, we really need your help because China has boats and we have hope. The reality is the Philippines has no chance against China's military without American support. China's been sending Coast Guard ships to hassle Filipino fishermen, which is like sending a professional wrestler to intimidate a kindergarten class. Not exactly a fair fight. So here we are, Trump praising a dictator's family while trying to contain another dictator's expansion. Portions of today's show were made with the help of AI and the Epstein files.
From the creators of Palace Intrigue, a new chapter in royal history begins. William and Kate's wedding captures the world's attention, but royal life isn't as perfect as it seems. Tensions rise as Harry meets Meghan, sparking a divide that will shake the monarchy to its core. From explosive interviews to family scandals, the royal family faces its most public challenges ever. As King Charles takes the throne, the future of the monarchy hangs in the balance. Family secrets, royal rifts, and the future of the crown. Crown and Controversy, wherever you get your podcasts.
From Calaroga Shark Media comes Celebrity Trials, the explosive new podcast that exposes the truth behind America's most captivating cases. I'm Reed Carter, and I'll take you inside real-live daily trials and classic celebrity cases where fame, power, and justice collide. From Jeffrey Epstein's billion-dollar sex trafficking empire to the prep school killer who walked free, from family annihilators to celebrity plea deals. Discover the shocking verdicts, twisted evidence, and cultural forces that shape American justice. These aren't just crimes. They're cultural moments that reveal who we really are. Justice isn't always swift, but it's absolutely riveting. Celebrity Trials, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Alligator Alcatraz, a new podcast from Calaroga Shark Media. They built a detention center in the Florida Everglades to separate families and break spirits. Surrounded it with alligators, figured that'd be the end of it. What they didn't count on was Tommy Esperanza, a quiet maintenance worker who turned their bureaucratic nightmare into something extraordinary. While corrupt politicians profited from human suffering and incompetent officials created disasters with PowerPoint presentations, Tommy built an underground network that reunited families, exposed massive fraud, and brought down a congressman. Where the Gators were smarter than the guards, families fought back against systematic cruelty, and one man proved that wisdom beats authority every single time. Alligator Alcatraz, available wherever you get your podcasts.